You know that feeling when you finish a book or a movie and you just sit back and think, wow, that was perfect? What separates a good story from an absolutely unforgettable one? Well, it usually isn't magic, it's architecture. There's a hidden blueprint that guides the most powerful stories ever told. And today, we're going to uncover it together. We have this idea that creativity is supposed to be totally boundless, this completely free-flowing thing, right? But what T.S. Eliot is saying here is actually the exact opposite. Sometimes the most incredible ideas come out when we have rules, when we have constraints. Structure isn't the enemy of your imagination, it's the engine that actually powers it. And that whole idea of a powerful framework, that's exactly what we're digging into today. We're unlocking Chapter 7 of William Bernhardt's fantastic guide, Story Structure, to get a close-up look at the blueprint that the greatest storytellers have been using for centuries. Now listen, this is not some new, trendy writing hack. Bernhardt makes it really clear that this framework is absolutely timeless. You can find its DNA in, well, everything, from ancient epics like the Odyssey, all the way up to the blockbuster movies and best-selling novels of today. It really is the secret sauce. And that's because masterpieces almost never, ever happen by accident. They are built meticulously, piece by piece, just like a skyscraper. And you know what the best part is? That means we can learn how to be the architects of our own amazing stories. So, to really get this blueprint, let's look at the key structural beats. Think of them as the main support beams of your story house. First, you've got the inciting incident. That's the thing that kicks it all off. That leads to plot point 1, which is basically the point of no return. Then, somewhere in the middle, you get a really crucial character turning point. And then things get dark with plot point 2, the all is lost moment, which perfectly sets up the grand finale, the climax. All right, let's see how these beams hold up a couple of literary giants. First up, a total classic, Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Now, you might just think of it as a great romance, but underneath all that, it is a masterclass in structural engineering. Just look at how perfectly this thing maps out. The inciting incident? A rich, single guy moves into the neighborhood. Simple, right? But it throws the Bennet family's whole world into a spin. Plot point 1 is that iconic ball where Elizabeth first meets the incredibly rude Mr. Darcy. And bam, our main conflict is off and running. The character turning point is huge. Darcy's shocking, kind of disastrous proposal reveals his true feelings and forces Elizabeth to question everything she thought she knew. Then the dark moment, plot point 2, Lydia runs off with Wickham, threatening to ruin the entire family. And this sets up the big climax, where Darcy secretly saves the day, solving that initial problem and proving he's actually worthy of Elizabeth. See? It's a perfect, totally satisfying structure. Okay, so it works for a British romance. Fair enough. But what about something totally different? A gritty American adventure novel? Let's jump over to Mark Twain's The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn and see what we find. Would you look at that? It's the exact same blueprint. The inciting incident is Huck's father vanishing, which forces him into a civilized life he can't stand. Plot point 1 is huge. He helps Jim escape. This is the point of no return. In the eyes of society, he's a criminal and a sinner. And the character turning point? It's one of the most powerful moments in all of literature. He's about to betray Jim, but instead, he rips up that letter and says, "All right then, I'll go to hell." He chooses his friend over everything he's been taught. The dark moment, plot point 2, is when Jim is recaptured. And the climax? Huck frees Jim all over again, cementing his new moral code. It's incredible, a romance and an adventure built on the exact same bones. This shows you why the structure is so powerful, because it mirrors the fundamental human journey of facing a problem, being forced to change, and finding a resolution. All right, so we've seen how the masters do it, we've deconstructed their work. Now let's turn this amazing tool over to you. Because this isn't just about analyzing other people's stories, it's about building your own. So how do you actually apply this to that novel you've been outlining, or that screenplay you've been dreaming up? Well, let's walk through a super practical checklist, straight from Bernhardt's work, that'll help you build your own solid blueprint. First things first, the foundation. Your inciting incident isn't just a cool opening, it's a promise you're making to the reader. So ask yourself, what's the event that kicks everything off? And this is crucial, how does that initial problem connect directly to the final payoff in the climax? That symmetry, that connection, that's what makes a story feel complete and just so satisfying. Next up, the journey. You know, the messy middle where so many stories just fall apart. The key word here is escalation. Are the obstacles your hero faces getting tougher and tougher? Are your subplots actually feeding back into the main conflict, or are they just distractions? Every major turning point should raise the stakes and pull your reader in deeper, making it absolutely impossible for them to stop reading. And finally, we've got the payoff. Your ending has to deliver on the promise of the beginning. You want your reader to feel that pace pick up as you hurtle towards the climax, and ask yourself, is it big enough? Is it dramatic enough? And when all the dust settles, what's the final impression? What's the idea or the feeling you're leaving with your reader? Because that is the ultimate takeaway. So look, if there is one thing you take away from all of this, let it be this. Structure is not a cage that's meant to limit your creativity. It's the key. It's the key that unlocks it, giving you the blueprint to build a story that is not only wildly imaginative, but also deeply resonant and satisfying for your audience. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to chew on for your own work. What is the core problem born from that inciting incident that will force your main character to change by the time they reach the climax? Answering that one question might just be the key that unlocks your entire story. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.